Hello everyone, let's discuss today's The Hindu editorial page. The first article is a blurred mapping of internal female migration. In this article, the writer says that internal migration is a significant form of physical and social transaction in India, with the Periodic Labour Force Survey, PLFS, estimating it to be 27% between June 2020 and 2021. However, there is little dialogue surrounding women, particularly those of working age, which contributes to India's falling female labour force participation rate, FLFPR. This raises questions about whether women face employment barriers due to post-migration conditions. National surveys often convey an inaccurate picture of female migrants, as they only ask respondents about their primary reason for migration. The leading reason for migration among women is marriage, 81%. Followed by migration of family members, 10%, employment, 2.42%, and migration for education opportunities, 0.48%. There is no provision to know the secondary reasons, motivations such as climate shocks and food insecurity, which can be a crucial driver of migration for women. Meanwhile, data from these surveys regarding migrant women's labor force participation can be misleading. According to the PLFS, approximately 3/4 of migrant women are unemployed, 14% are in self- and wage-employed jobs, and 12% are in casual labor. This round of data collection was during the COVID-19 pandemic, which might explain the low numbers, but does not adequately underscore the problem of underreporting of their employment status. Definitional issues and women's own beliefs also lead to an underreporting of employment of migrant women. According to the definition of employment used by national surveys, only those with some form of verbal or written contract with their employer are considered part of the labor force. Therefore, women are largely classified as unemployed. However, what is often overlooked is that women choose forms of employment that allow them to handle their domestic duties while contributing to the household's production or finances. Human and social capital is another important factor restricting their entry into the formal labor force. In the PLFS data, 85% of the women have less than 10 years of education, which can create problems. While there is no significant difference in the educational levels of migrant and non-migrant women, migrant women are proportionally less employed than non-migrant women. Coupled with the lack of social networks, especially after they migrate, these factors can lead to a lack of social capital and a lack of employment opportunities for women. The next article is from Business Standard newspaper, that is Rural India's Budget Expectations. In this article, the writer says that the performance of agriculture and the rural economy is crucial, as around 70% of the population and workforce reside in rural areas. Increasing their purchasing power is crucial for creating demand in the entire economy. India has done well, with an average annual growth rate of 4.4% in the past 6 years. 2017 to 18 to 2022 to 23, including COVID-19 years. However, the first advance estimates of gross domestic product (GDP) for FY24 indicate a dismal 7-year low growth of just 1.8%. This low growth in agriculture was largely due to the poor monsoon, El Niño effect, in 2023. Production of major kharif crops and even allied activities like livestock, fishing, and aquaculture could witness a decline in FY24. Rabi sowing is also mutated this year. A recent study by the Reserve Bank of India, RBI, explores the dynamics of the agriculture supply chain by estimating the farmers' share in consumer prices through a pan-India survey of farmers, traders, and retailers. The survey finds that the average share of farmers in output value varies between 33 and 70% across various crops. As one expects, produce has a much lower share. The survey findings suggest that further development of agricultural markets, warehouses, pre-processing facilities, ripening units, and cold storage is critical for efficient supply chain management. India holds significant potential for increasing agricultural exports. special efforts are required to diversify the agri-export basket and explore new destinations, as well as to increase high-value-added agricultural exports. While there may be a need to impose export bans and increase tariffs on occasion, it is crucial to consider that such measures could potentially reduce farmers' incomes. Indian farmers face many problems, such as climate change, rising input costs, fragmented land holdings, suboptimal farm mechanization, low productivity, and disguised unemployment. At present, subsidies exceed public investments in agriculture. There is a need to tackle the impact of climate change. One study shows that climate shocks such as droughts, floods, heat waves, and cold waves have slowed down India's agriculture productivity growth by 25%, and the slowdown has been more pronounced in the poorer and agrarian states. The interim budget for 2024 to 25 expects a boost to rural growth due to stress in agriculture and the rural economy. The government may stick to the fiscal deficit target of 5.9% for FY24, with the aim of reducing it to 4.5% by FY26. The increase in capital expenditure is expected to continue in future budgets, which would also benefit rural areas. The last budget announced schemes aimed at promoting a circular economy and facilitating 10 million farmers to adopt natural farming. This focus may continue in the next budget. Increased allocations towards farmers and rural development programs to stimulate demand in rural areas are expected. Malnutrition among children in rural areas is high and needs attention. In an election year, the budget has to strike a balance between pro-poor redistributive policies while ensuring fiscal deficit targets. Raising revenue, reducing tax concessions, and curtailing expenditures on unproductive activities are required to achieve this objective. The next article is from Business Standard newspaper. Gender preference girl-child continues to face discrimination. In this article, the writer says that a new research paper by the National Council of Applied Economic Research explores the gender gap in child health in India, revealing that despite socio-economic advancement, better educational facilities for women, and extensive government programs, girls still fare worse than boys on most indicators related to health and nutrition. The study also finds evidence of son preference and favoritism towards the eldest son, with the eldest sons performing better than younger sons on various indicators like stunting and infant survival. Cultural controls are strongly associated with a male-skewed sex ratio in India, with cultural preferences for sons arising from patrilocality, patrilineality, the cost of dowry, and old age support from sons. The problem of missing female children remains pervasive in the country, with an estimate of nearly 100 million women missing across the world, almost 40 million in India alone. The paper provides valuable policy insights, suggesting that policies must focus on offsetting parents' time and hassle costs, such as providing payments for having healthy girls. Female education has proven to have little impact, leading to smaller desired family sizes and more likely sex-selective abortions. Low fertility levels are positively associated with a male-skewed desired sex ratio. The government must strictly enforce the Preconception and Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques (PCPNDT) Act and empower schools to deliver timely health interventions. The absence of social security also encourages families to have male children, with the hope that they will take care of their parents in old age. Despite various steps taken by the government, the desired change remains a slow process.